Hi folks, we're at LR Workshop. I just thought whilst I'm fixing my windscreen wipers, and you have to pretty much take the whole dashboard apart anyway, I thought I'd just talk over how I fitted the Td5 dashboard into my 1997 300 TDI, and some of the things to look out for. So first of all, you basically need the entire dashboard, and you've got to replace basically everything. So the parcel tray, the bottom bit here, it's called a heater duct technically because all the air comes through and comes up these pipes here. You need this bit at the back gets replaced. This bit you can use with your old gauges. I've got the later gauges on here. You need this bit, the bits in the back. Basically you need the whole setup to be able to fit this onto your vehicle. It basically fits. A lot of the screw holes are all in the same place. The screw holes are all on the bottom. They're all in the same place. The loom gets a bit tight here, so the 300 TDI loom comes up here, and on the right hand drive goes out there. On TD5 looms, they come up a bit higher and they go left and right, so they go through both of the holes here. So this was a bit tight, getting the parcel, the lower vent bit in against here. I guess the main thing to be aware of is that, so the switches and things, the heated windscreen and hazard switch are normally down there on a 300 TDI, and you've got to relocate them to the center here. And if you're going to use the wiper switch, the wiper setup is different in a TD5. So I can't remember which way around it is, but in one of them it's positive switched, and in the other, and then the other one it's negative switched. So you basically got to do the wires, flip the wiring around. Also, the relay is now in the back door. So I've got a TD5 back door in here. Originally, I modified that TD5 rear door and rear wiper to fit a 300 TDI dashboard, and now I've put in the TD5 dashboard. So I kind of undid that wiring to make it all work. But these are the original wire for the wiper, knob that's down here. You've got the red light green, brown light green, and black light green. These ones here. So we've ended up with one that's unused. I think it's the earth that gets switched in the back. No, maybe it's the live. I think it's the live that gets switched in the back on the TD5. So I've had to bring some of the wirings here for the wiper motor, for example, and a lot of it's down over there. Heated screen, fog lamp, and hazard switch. They've all got to get relocated into here. Now, these are the plugs for the center console. I'll just grab the console. I was lucky enough to buy. So what I did was I bought this whole dashboard. This was 5 years ago. It was about £250. They're less available these days, and they are up for a lot more money. I've seen some for £700-800, which I don't think is worth it, to be honest, but needs must. I did find a center console that I bought separately. It had all the switches, and it had the tails in the back, which is what these are. So I got basically the standard connectors. If you see, they come back here to there. Somebody just chopped these off the loom, so I got these connectors straight up. That was really, really handy. But you can buy these if you go and check out the connectors on LR Workshop in the connector library. There are some descriptions there of the OEM connectors that you can buy and wire it yourself. So basically, there's a whole bunch of wires here that I rerouted from that side. I just soldered them up that end, brought them here, soldered them onto this lot of wiring at this end, and same here. And then as I said, the window one was already here, so you can connect that into this bit of the loom, and the positive and these ones for the cigar lighter are already here. You just they're slightly different connectors on there. The radio, these white bits are rear speaker wires. That's not particularly, it's not my best wiring, but there we go. On a 300 TDI, they've got these what are called, I think, ISO connectors, and I've just put in an adapter here, and that goes into my stereo. But later ones have got the big fat square connector, but you can get adapters for those as well, no problem. The other thing to note is that the bulkhead's different. So the bulkhead on a Td5, these brackets extend down to here, and you would normally bolt it through here into the bulkhead bit here. So what I've done is made some brackets. They're very simple. I cut this off the old, so this entire sort of backing plate here, I cut the tabs off, and there was a dust line along here that showed me the exact alignment. I cut these tabs off, put some brackets in with some little bolts, and they've done well. There's a little bit of play in that, but the other ones are solid. And I've just done that here, and that's. I mean, you could probably fabricate better brackets than me, but it does the job. 5 years, and they're doing all right. So that's kind of the only other thing to be aware of. The wiper motor fits in here. Normally the wiper motor is up here on the TD5, and it fits, even though it's down here with a 300 TDI, this all fits completely. The other thing to be aware of is that dashboards came with speakers or without speakers. So if you do have speakers and you want them, you'll need the appropriate lower dash with the speaker here on the end piece and at the other end. Yeah, and it's just a whole lot of wiring, and it should be straightforward. They're all color coded. I mean, just buy a whole load of wires, because when you bring these wires out, these are new wires, welded up, kept the colors all the same, and then you just connect the colors to the other colors. But as I say, the ones where you do need to watch out are for the rear wiper. I've written an article about that, actually. I'll put a link on the screen about wiring that up. But the rest of it's just plug and play, really. You just need the connectors on here. One extra point to note, so about these fascia panels, these center consoles. Well, I guess one thing about these, they're becoming really friggin' rare, because every Tom, Dick and Harry bloody friggin' cuts them up. They cut them up to fit like a full DIN panel. So getting these in factory, like as they left the factory, is really bloody hard these days, because everyone's just chopping them up, which, well, taste, but yeah, there we go. It's not my preference. But they're bloody hard to get hold of. As are these panels here. It's called a radio bezel, and every rest of the world's better vehicle I was in when I was overseas, the radio was just, this thing had shattered, and the radio was just like sat down on a slant from being off road, because there's no support at the back. There's this hole here, which is when you've got the parcel, not the parcel, the kind of the when you don't have the radio fitted, and you've just got a cubby box in here that's got a spigot, and that fits in there, and that gives it stability. But on a radio it doesn't. So anyway, what I've done is use this bracket that seemed to come with the radio, but that then gives it support at the back. When it sits, it takes the weight of the back of the radio, so it doesn't snap the plastic off on here, which has worked pretty good as well. And there's something else I remember. When you get your vent flap open, so you have to attach your vent flaps to the new style of vent flap handle here, and the holes don't line up, and I've not been able to work out why, because this part number should be the same from about 1996 all the way through, and the holes don't line up properly. So I've only put one bolt in here, which kind of makes the mechanism a bit flimsy. So you may not get a perfect kind of seal. I never replaced the seal on this one. You can see it's pretty old and rubbish. It never quite got, never fully closed properly. So I'm just going to replace the seal now, and that should try and cure it. There's probably not many people doing this mod much these days. It seems to have fallen out of fashion. Everyone wants to fit Puma dashboards on their 300 TDI, which has been done. It's been done quite a few times now. It's a known path. There are mods you can get the gauges to work on 300 TDIs and stuff, the Puma gauges. So maybe this one's fallen out of favour. But from my point of view, it's like pure rest of the world spec. That's why I wanted it. And I kind of like this dashboard. I kind of like all the switches being here. It also means that the passenger can, operate some of these switches, like the hazard switch and heated window, if so be it. And you've also got the possibility to upgrade into electric windows, heated seats, and getting the full OEM look if you want to as well. Headlamp leveling as well. And plus you've got a few extra spaces here for other switches if you want to put in your spot lamps or your winch or that kind of stuff. You can get these switches OEM, and I think Bearmac do different covers you can put on as well. So that's an option. Anyway, give us a thumbs up if you found that video useful. Subscribe for more Land Rover content. As always, thanks for watching. Bye for now.